We are here at the Huntsville Boat Show at the VBC, where the doors open today at 2 o'clock. So the final preparations are going on. These beautiful boats that are set up, Rambo Marine, right around the corner from me here, and so many others that are here at the Huntsville Boat Show. And you're going to want to come on down. It's going all the way through Sunday afternoon, so you're going to want to take advantage of it. And we will be here tomorrow as well, when the doors open at noon tomorrow. I mean, this place just absolutely looks amazing, and the organizer, Ryan Jones, will join us later on in the show to set up the weekend. But in the meantime, what a historic 24 hours, really, in the history of sports in America. I mean, this is bigger than just, oh, this is the biggest thing that's happened so far this year. No, in the history of sports in America, what a 24 hours. Because we're all focused on Bill Belichick and Nick Saban, potentially, arguably the best college football coach and the best NFL coach in the history of coaching. And then there's Pete Carroll. Oh, by the way, that dude won a Super Bowl and a national championship, 2 national championships, 1.5 national championships, if you will, and a Super Bowl. And if he'd have run the ball, he'd have won another Super Bowl. He would have 2 Super Bowls in his hopper. So it has been an absolutely amazing 24 hours for sure. 3 coaching legends, all 72 years old, and all out at their longtime jobs. And it's all for different reasons. It began, as I said yesterday, with the news that Pete Carroll being out at Seattle. And of these 3, he is the only one that has the Natty and the Super Bowl. Bill Belichick, who has dominated the NFL with 6 Super Bowl titles, and his close friend Nick Saban, who dominated college football with 7 titles, all out in a period of 24 hours. Now, the one that we're most focused on, of course, is Saban. And though his career at Alabama comes to an end, let me remind everyone, he is alive. I mean, by all accounts, very healthy. I mean, if you read some of the commentary and you see the reaction of some of the fans and the vigil that had been erected at his statue at the Walk of Champions, I mean, you'd think the dude was dead. Not dead. He is alive. I mean, this should be celebrated. His career should be celebrated, not mourned. Yes, you might be mourning the fact that this incredible run of 17 years is coming to an end. I understand that. I get that. But really, it should be a celebration of an amazing, amazing career. Now, we saw it coming. I mean, some wanted to deny it, but I've been saying for the last 2, 3, 4 years, every time he got one of these extensions, and remember when Steve Spurrier had to retire at 71 years old because of all the negative recruiting and everything? I don't think that Saban wanted to go out like that. I mean, here he is. This is a guy that was in overtime with the eventual national champion. That's how close they were to him winning his 8th natty. I don't think that was, I don't think he wanted to go out on a negative note. I still think it's very much a positive note. But while he was getting all these extensions, I kept saying, this guy's not going to be coaching his mid-70s. He's not going to coach till he's 80 years old. 6 more years, 7 more years. No. And in fact, earlier this year, at SEC Media Days, Paul Feinbaum and I sat down and I posed that very question to Paul. And this was the question and answer to Paul. We were talking about whether or not if he won a championship. But this is what Paul Feinbaum had to say when I asked him specifically whether or not he felt that Nick Saban was going to retire. Might this be it? Might this be the end for Nick Saban? This is what Paul had to say. All right, speaking of legacies, and it will be interesting to see the way it unfolds. And the other part of it is that you remember when Nick Saban said, is this what we want football to look like, when he was talking about high-speed offenses? I wonder how many times he says to himself, is this what we want college sports to look like with the NIL and everything else? And I wonder at some point, if there is a championship to be had, if it's this year, next year, whatever, if that isn't the exit point, he just said, you know what, I'm done with this stuff. This is such a greasy thing now. I'm out of here.
I feel very confident that should he win, he will quit.
Yeah.
And I think he's already probably – and part of it is, forget the age. He knows how difficult it is, and he knows how more difficult it will be next year with 12 teams.
Yeah.
And I think he would take it and run and go, hey, See, guys, I'll get my whatever he does, and I have no idea what he's going to do.
Yeah.
But it will not be trying to replicate what he would have accomplished.
That was in July. So let's, it was a shock to the system because when you actually hear it, you're stunned. But we saw this coming. We saw it. And the way the game has changed in recent years, I mean, this is not like when the game became a 100-play deal and the no-huddle, hurry-up game happened. This is NIL. This is maybe the thing that would annoy him the most, the transfer portal. He hates when kids quit. Oh, I'm not playing enough, and they go over the wall. He decided it was time to enjoy his new home in Florida, spend time with his wife, his family, his grandkids, and do some other things in this final season of his life. Like I said, this happened with Steve Spurrier as well, about the same age. Like, kids start believing that the guy recruiting them is not necessarily going to be around when they get to the end of their tenure. And they're being told that by other coaches. A lot are saying it. And we've already seen one huge casualty as young Ryan Williams, the 5-star stud wide receiver from Saraland, who was set to sign with Alabama on his 17th birthday, February 9th, has now decommitted and very well could end up at Auburn, joining a ridiculous group of incoming wide receivers that Hugh Freeze has. They're calling them the Freeze 5. Right now it's the Freeze 4. But they're telling Ryan Williams, come on down, and you could be the Freeze 5. Now, Alabama will still be in on it, depending on who they end up hiring as the head coach. Alabama could still be in the mix. But we're going to have to see. That head coach announcement is going to come sooner than later. I think we're going to hear about it in the very, very near future. One thing that we do know is that it won't be Dan Lanning. That was the guy that was my favorite choice. But apparently Dan Lanning has pulled himself out and said that he's staying at Oregon. Now, let me add this. My first thought was how fast these 17 years went by. I mean, it seems like just yesterday when he was saying that he would not be the head coach at Alabama. And then on January 3rd, 2007, he landed in Tuscaloosa as the head coach at Alabama. Secondly, I thought for sure the way Saban plans everything that this had been in the works for a while. Excuse me. And that, potentially they already had this worked out and who the guy would be. But then Chris Lowe reports in his interview that he did with him that, Saban was lining up staff interviews. And he just became frustrated with the state of the game. Some of the guys that he was talking to about positions, defensive coordinator, other defensive staff positions, were not committing, concerned about how long Nick Saban was actually going to be around. And at that particular point in time, he just, you know what? I'm just going to exit stage left. It's time. And just like that, he made the decision. And he'll never look back. Oh, there'll be moments where he'll have regrets and he'll think about it. He'll miss the competition. But he knows that it's the right time. Jimmy Stein, BamaOnline.com, has covered Saban for his entire career at Alabama. And he's coming up to give us thoughts on Saban, the legacy, and where the tide goes from here. Like everyone else, I have a list in front of me of potential replacements, but I believe that this will go down very, very quickly. And we'll look at those names. With Dan Lanning off the list, you do have to look to the NFL, and you got to look to D'Amico Ryans, who never played for Nick Saban, but certainly he's an Alabama guy. He's a dynamic guy. He's a guy, I think, that even though he's never recruited, would do very well on the recruiting trail. But he's got a hell of a situation in the NFL. I mean, he's got, one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL. He's got other parts there. He's in a big city. They're a playoff team this year. They got a playoff game on Saturday. But I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't D'Amico Ryans. And there are other names, too, to bat about as well. Now, the phone lines are open. I changed the show up. Usually we do Beat the Big Dog on Thursday. We're going to do Beat the Big Dog and the Friday Trifecta tomorrow. I felt like I wanted to give you guys room to do your thing. and come in and say what you wanted to say. Plus, I wanted to talk to Jimmy Stein about this as well. So you'll be able to jump in. But the phone lines are open at 256-576-4977. You can text the show anytime, 24/7 at 7329-TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. As you can tell by my voice, I'm a little bit under the weather. But as long as you don't come to my broadcast location here at the Huntsville Boat Show and try to kiss me on the face, we should be okay. Don't get real close. We should be all right. Keep your distance. A little bit under the weather, but the show goes on. There's no way I'm missing this show. Not going to happen. The X feed for me is at Thom Abraham Show. The station's feed is at 97.7 ESPN, where you can watch the show. You can also check out our YouTube channel at WZZN TV. Like and subscribe to YouTube for notifications. Our Facebook page is 97.7 ESPN, and there's a link there to the YouTube feed of the show. And you see this beautiful background behind me here from broadcasting from the TOC tent here. And you see behind me where it says, "Welcome to the Boat Show." I have to turn a light on my camera probably to shine a little more light on me. And I'm wearing festive blue so that I mix in with the Boat Show theme here. Saban, 28 years in college football, 292 wins, 7 championships. Bill Belichick, 29 years in the NFL, 333 wins, 15 short of Don Shula for all time. In many more games, by the way. Doesn't have the winning percentage. Saban's winning percentage is ridiculous. 6 Super Bowls, but all with the same quarterback. Look, for my money, if you put me up against the wall, for my money, Saban is the greater coach because he won those 7 titles with 5 different quarterbacks and constant player turnover. Now, the biggest difference between Saban and Belichick is it looks like Belichick is looking for a job, and Saban is not. And the one of the jobs mentioned the most for Belichick to resume his career is Atlanta. So with that, let me bring in the guy playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax, answering the phones, keeping us on the air. He is the one and only DJ Grizzy Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I mean, this is ridiculous. It's a radio show. It ain't a 1-hour television spectacular.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Now, Thom. Hey, Thom.
He may be the smartest person that I've ever met.
Testosterone high today.
What's that?
Testosterone, whatever the f it is. Testosterone.
I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
It really doesn't matter what you think. All right? It really doesn't matter what you say.
Grizzy Grizz. All right, take me back to yesterday when you heard this news, middle of the afternoon. What was your initial reaction when you heard that Nick Saban was hanging it up?
I thought it was one of those parody accounts. I thought somebody was just joking. You know, it's one of those things at the end of the year, you know, Alabama didn't win, or, you know, maybe Alabama did win or whatever, and yet still there's like this parody that comes out that's Saban's retiring, or Saban's going to Texas, or Saban's going somewhere, or, you know, straight to the media booth, which he's probably going now. And yeah, no, I was.
Is that what you think? I mean, do you think that he replaces Lee Corso on the desk of
I think
College Game Day? I've been saying that for years, but you know, other people think no.
I think Pat McAfee is Lee Corso because he's like the clown. He's the guy that's like, he's the football guy, but he's also the dude that's gonna wear all the hats or all the different mascots or whatever. Or he's gonna pump up the crowd. Like, he's that guy. I think that's what Lee Corso also was. He was entertaining and he was the coach. And so I think Coach Saban's just going to be like one of the guys that's going to be a really good tool, really good source throughout the show. And finally, what we're going to be able to see him talk candidly, like I've heard other people say, and it'll be nice to hear the other side of it and him being able to kind of break down. I'm sure there'll be a lot of like a Little Debbie like sponsorships that'll happen out of this ESPN thing or something or whatever he's doing, and it'll just be it'll fun with it, and I think it'll be fun.
Says he's going to remain involved in the program, which is very good for whoever that next guy is going to be. We know now that it won't
like
be
Pete
Dan
Carroll,
Lanning,
right?
But we'll see. Yeah, like Pete Carroll. But we'll see. Who it ends up being. Now on the flip side.
Yeah.
I got to get your reaction to all of this talk tying Bill Belichick to Atlanta.
I'm getting ready to cut my sleeves.
Do you want a 72-year-old Bill Belichick? I mean, are they within a couple of years of winning the Super Bowl? Because to me, Belichick doesn't want to go to a rebuild, and Atlanta has, I think, everything in place but a quarterback. But where do you get the quarterback?
Here's the thing that I've said about Atlanta. Arthur Blank got called out in his press conference about just like past hires, and is this just going to be another, Arthur Blank type of hire, and it's just not going to work. I mean, Dan Quinn in 2 years was able to get to the Super Bowl. If you give
Matt Ryan.
I understand that, but if you give Belichick, maybe Kirk Cousins, you draft a quarterback,
okay.
and you draft a quarterback. You got Bill Belichick with that offense already.
Yeah.
He brings Josh McDaniels in as your OC. Whoever it is, Matt Patricia, whoever could be over that DC over there, see what happens. And then that's I think I totally agree with David Moulton. If Pete Carroll's possibly got like 3-4 more years left, I think Bill Belichick's, if he's got the right team around him.
So you would be good with it for 3 years or so?
Yes, and here's the thing. Here's the thing about it, though, too. Another thing I was trying to get at is Arthur Blank and Rich McKay, they're both morons, and they will take whatever they can get, and they will. And I would love to see Bill Belichick walk in and be the GM and do everything he's supposed to do, and that means Fontenot is either going to be assistant GM or he'll be like the guy that's gone. And he's
first of all, Belichick can't be the GM. That's what failed in New England.
I get it.
I mean, it went.
But he's the guy that's going to take over. He's not going to be the guy that's report to.
And if those guys are morons, he doesn't want to work with morons. Now, Arthur Blank's not a moron. You don't become a multi-billionaire by being a moron.
Look, when it comes to coaching hires, it hasn't been obviously great, but it's the thing. It's like, where does it go from here? Where like, how long can you keep letting like the type of people make these types of decisions? Now they're going in where they're actually having a search committee and they're actually trying to figure it all out. Like, it's just. There's a lot of things that are, but everything that was said throughout their press conference, it's just back and forth where literally Arthur Blank a lot of times was talking over Rich McKay, and I think I and the fan base are tired of that.
Well, all of that was pre-Bill Belichick being available, so we'll see whether or not that happens. I will say this. Keep an eye on the Philadelphia Eagles situation.
Oh, yeah.
Keep an
Howie
eye
Roseman will work some
the
deal. I just know he will. Somehow the Eagles will get away with it, yeah.
The reasoning would be that's a place where he could go and win immediately. If it turns out that Nick Sirianni is not the guy, if they lose to Tampa Bay this weekend, I could see Bill Belichick walking in there.
What about Vrabel? I mean, if he doesn't go to New England.
What about Vrabel where?
Philly.
No, I think the only reason that they would blow
that's
out
established,
Sirianni would be as if it was Belichick. I don't think I think Sirianni, he took him to the Super Bowl. So I think that Sirianni's, he's just not Belichick. I think that that would be the place. And there's a lot of fighting going on there. The Sirianni fights with his team a lot. So I'm just saying, keep an eye on the Philadelphia situation. And God forbid the Packers beat the Cowboys. God forbid the Packers beat the Cowboys. And Crazy Jerry Jones says, hey, Bill, would you come and take my team over for the next 3 years and win me a Super Bowl before I take the dirt nap?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, a lot of things out there. All right. I'll tell you what, let me get Bama Brad in here. I'll get a Bama fan in here off the top. Let me get Bama Brad in here. I know we got Paulie Holding as well, but we got Jimmy Stein coming up, too, and I want to get his take. Obviously, he's covered Saban for his entire career. Brad, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, Tom. First of all, this is the Tom Abraham show, so I know Saban and his people are probably listening. So first thing I want to say is thank you for what you did for the University of Alabama and what you'll continue to do and the legacy that you left there. These people that are mourning him like he's dead, like you said, and these people that are going to criticize every coach that Canada did out there and try to throw stones at him. Whatever decision they make, I'm on board with it. I'll be behind them 100%. And I've been through the lean times, Tom. I know what it's like. My only thing I'd say is I just hope they take the time and they get it right. We need to get it done quickly so we don't lose anybody else in the portal. We need Sayin to come out of California, the quarterback. I'm hearing names thrown out there like Mike Norvell, and that's because his buyout is so cheap. Not saying Mike's not a good candidate for it. I'm not saying he is a good candidate for it, but they got to get it right. It can't be a monetary thing because it cannot turn into another Jimbo Fisher. So
I don't think it would be. I just got a little chill when you said Jimbo Fisher. No, I don't think it's going to be one of those kind of scenarios. But at least the kids, like guys like Julian saying, they're in. I mean, they're on campus. He's there. He was in the meeting when Saban said this.
Yeah,
so
but he could leave. But he can't leave.
I guess
they
could.
30 days. They can leave.
Yeah, I guess they could. But that's why I think very quickly you're going to see who the new coach is. And right now, with Dan Lanning was my 1A choice. My 1B choice, and it was a very thin margin, is D'Amico Ryans. So until I hear D'Amico Ryans say no, I don't get real nervous because D'Amico Ryans, I think, would kill it there.
Yeah, you and I talked on text last night about Lanning, and that's who I thought it was going to be. And I didn't know that he pulled his name out until I just heard you say that on the radio. So
yeah, he just did.
The thing that concerns me is, when I started hearing this, I thought, well, this has been going on for a while. They probably knew it was going to happen. They knew what was going to happen when he pulled the trigger. Then I'm hearing all these people, the insiders, saying that, he was doing an interview at 3:55 yesterday, and at 4 o'clock he decided to walk out. That doesn't sound like Nick Saban.
I think he became frustrated. He was having a hard time getting the guys that he wanted to commit to the staff, and I think he was getting frustrated with that, and it's obviously something that had been on his mind. And he pulled the trigger. Yeah, he pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
All right, Brad. I appreciate the call, man. It's a good job by you.
Tom gets feeling better.
Yeah, appreciate it. You can tell, can't you, Chris? What I need to do is I got to find somebody that's got a bottle of water here, all right? Because the throat's all messed up.
Parched.
And it's
parched.
Something's going on here with the throat, and I got to find out, what's going on with that. All right, when we come back, Jimmy Stein is up, and Paulie, stay there. We'll get you in. Jimmy Stein from Bama Online is coming up next right here on the Tom Abraham Show from the Huntsville Boat Show, which is not open yet. Opens at 2 o'clock this afternoon on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Tom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The all-new Huntsville Boat Show returns to the Von Braun Center January 11th through the 14th, and I'll be broadcasting the Tom Abraham Show live from there at lunchtime on the 11th and 12th. The Huntsville Boat Show is an exciting time for all boat enthusiasts as it allows buyers to save thousands of dollars on the purchase of a new boat or just shop many brands for your future purchase. Plus, many other retailers will be on hand as well for all things water. So plan to be at the Huntsville Boat Show at the VBC January 11th through 14th. See you there.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Injuries at work happen all the time in Alabama. So do motor vehicle and slip and fall accidents. If you're hurt at work or injured in an accident, I want you to call my good friends at Pond Lehocky Giordano. That's Pond Lehocky, Alabama's injury law firm. They got your back just like they've got mine. For personalized legal support, reach out to Pond Lehocky at 855-774-3838 or pondlehocky.com.
The representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
The best place to get 50s diner-style homemade delectables is Bubby's Diner. Located at 8412 Whitesburg Drive Southeast, try their all-new expanded breakfast menu with homemade waffles, omelets, and shrimp and grits. With 3 generations of experience, Chris Bubby Belcher has the best burgers in town. Don't forget to leave without a homemade pie or a hand-spun milkshake. Give Bubby's a call today at 256-513-8080. Bubby's Diner, home of the donut burger.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Really is going to be a beautiful afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 50s. We're dropping into the mid and upper 40s as we head into the overnight. Early into your Friday morning. During the overnight, showers and thunderstorms are going to begin to develop across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the strong end of the spectrum, but it doesn't right now look like we're going to be dealing with any severe weather. A mostly cloudy sky through Friday afternoon. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to continue through a good chunk of the day. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
I like this kind of football. I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
You know, I've already answered it 3 times. So who else wants it? Can we get in a line and everybody ask the question? Look, why don't you rephrase the question and just ask what you want to ask, whatever it is. Or maybe you want to tell me something.
It's like taking poison, like rat poison.
Well, I don't know if that's fair. Pisses me off when I talk to people that have this expectation, like they're disappointed that we only won the game 14-13 and in the way we played. Really, that's frustrating. You want to talk about something that's frustrating? That's frustrating to me. I don't know that I've ever been this disappointed after winning a game, maybe ever. Because if it was up to you, we're 6 foot under already. Gone.
Any of you play sports? I mean, the coach is supposed to play the best players, right? And then it's up to the players to do what they're supposed to do so they get to play because they become one of the best players. So that's what he's doing now. But I don't know, maybe if you didn't play, maybe that's not something that you quite get.
Better make it a good one now because I'm about half fired up here. It really doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what you say.
I'm not really interested in any of your suggestions about how we should manage our team and what we should do to try to get better, regardless of what you think. Coach called 26 power. We're running 26 power, mud, flood, shit, or blood, man. We're going to run 26 power. It don't matter who's there or what's there. We're going to run 26 power, and you knew you had to get a double team. You knew you had to get a kick out.
Nick Saban. Probably the greatest coach in the history of college football.
Oh, yeah, some of my all-time favorite Saban cuts. I got boards and boards of cuts. Welcome back to Tom Abraham Show on location. Huntsville Boat Show is where we are at, and this segment of the show is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford and the service team at Woody Anderson Ford, standing by to make sure that they can do the job for your vehicle, whether it's a Ford or otherwise. It's Woody Anderson Ford. Don't forget the certified gold pre-owned vehicles and the new inventory, all at the corner of Sparkman and Jordan Lane and at WoodyAndersonFord.com. All right, we are joined now by our friend Jimmy Stein. He has covered Saban for the entirety of his career at Alabama, and he joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Jimmy, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, Tom. Thanks for having me back on.
Some classics there, right? I mean, you were in the room probably for almost all of those, if not all of them.
It brings back some memories. We'll be talking about, Saban quotes. I did a little piece this morning on Bama Online on some of his famous quotes, but we'll be talking about Nick Saban for a long, long, long time. and a lot of great memories.
My first reaction was, and maybe part of this is that I have a personal connection. My son was a sophomore at Alabama in Nick's first year in 2007, and my son was on the staff as a student assistant coach. And now my son's 35 years old, but it seems like it was 20 minutes ago. I mean, isn't it? It seems like he just landed, on January 3rd, 2007. Wouldn't say roll tide for quite a while, and just got to work. And it's really, we could see it coming, but it's amazing that it's over and that it was a 17-year run, and it seems like it went by in a flash.
It really did. Boy, time flies when you're having fun, and I don't think anyone had more fun in their coach's era than Alabama fans and Nick Saban because of all the winning, all the championships. I mean, during the height of it, 6 national championships in 12 seasons. That sounds like something that John Wooden did, a long time ago.
Right.
I mean, six national titles in 12 seasons. That will never happen again. I'm convinced that will never happen again in college football with all the rule changes and everything else. Saban also did it at a time when it was hard to do it anyway. Think about it. During that period of time, those 12 seasons, the SEC rose to the level, Tom, of it was by far the best, most competitive conference in college football. Saban dominated the SEC at a time the SEC dominated college football. That in and of itself is incredible. So we'll be talking about Nick Saban's records, the numbers, the stats, the championships for a long time because it's just simply unprecedented. No one's ever done it before. It's very doubtful that anyone will ever do it again.
I will challenge you on the issue of whether it will happen again only because of this, the access that great teams are going to have now to the tournament. I mean, back when Bear Bryant was doing it, obviously, I mean, you had to be right at the top. You didn't have that shot. When they went to the 4-team playoff, all of a sudden they let teams 3 and 4 into the mix. There were teams that back in the day that maybe you would have thought, that team, if they were in the top 4, they'd ended up coming out of there a winner. And Alabama did win it from the 4-hole. Mm-hmm. Now there's going to be 12 teams in there. And I think I look at the other divisions and what has happened with places like South Dakota State or Montana, or whatever these teams are that are constantly always in the mix. I wonder if, because they're going to let Georgia in every year, let's just say, use them as an example. Georgia could go 10-2, get hot for a month, and win a national championship in a year where, if it was the BCS days or previous to the BCS, they wouldn't even have had a sniff. They wouldn't have had an opportunity. So I wonder if we won't see some of those kind of runs where somebody's going to win multiple national championships just because they're going to be in the tournament.
Well, it's going to be very difficult, and there will be a lot of teams with access, and every year you could have the same team in the playoff year after year after year. We saw Alabama make the 4-team playoff 8 out of 10 years, which is just absurd.
Ridiculous.
To make a 4-team playoff 8 out of 10 years. You're going to have that with a 12-team playoff of teams that are consistently in it. But if you think about this, Tom, just use this past season as just an example of who was good in college football. But one thing about the new playoff that boggles your mind about winning the 12-team playoff is you have to beat someone like, imagine having to beat Oregon, Michigan, and Georgia all right in a row. You got to beat all those teams all right in a row. It sounds impossible, yet each year someone will do it. Someone will emerge as the champion of the 12-team playoff. But it is going to be a steep mountain to get there, having to beat 3 or 4 super elite teams all right in a row. And most of these teams, Tom, will also be playing in a conference championship game too. So throw that into the mix as a game you likely are going to have to win. Not necessarily, but likely. The competition at the end of the season is going to be insane.
Jimmy Stein with us here, Bama Online, and of course they got great coverage of the Nick Saban story and then where we go from here. We'll get into that in a moment. In the first segment, Jimmy, we played a little cut from Paul Feinbaum and I sitting down at the SEC Media Days and speculating that this day would come and that this could be the final year. We all kind of knew it was coming at some point in time. They kept doing these contract extensions, and I kept telling listeners, this guy's not going to be coaching when he's 75, 76, 77 years old. But having said that, still that element of surprise, right? I mean, you had to know that it had to be coming soon, but still when you hear it, it still seems shocking.
Yeah, I'm still shocked less than 24 hours later. Shocked, not in the sense of how it went down or that he would retire at the age of 72, but shocked in the sense it was so abrupt. It was so abrupt. I'd heard rumors, but, I've heard rumors about his retirement every year since probably around 2014, frankly. So you kind of get deaf to it a little bit. But I know for myself, I was very surprised. But on the other hand, it went down sort of like I always imagined, Tom. I sort of always imagined that it would be an abrupt decision, that it would be the season's over and you get off the plane from Pasadena, and to start next year's team starts the moment you get off the plane. And there's so much work to do in modern football with building your roster, with building your staff. He was going to have to hire a minimum of 3 coaches, probably more. You have to keep your team intact. You have the late signing day. You have spring practice that only starts now in less than 10 weeks from right now. Spring practice less than 10 weeks away. And I think at age 72, before where they say, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Before you take that single step in your 72, you might think, you know what? It's just not in me. It's just not in me to do all that all over again. And it's a big job for a 32-year-old, much less a 72-year-old.
There were stories out there that there was some frustration. He was having some hard times filling out the staff where, staff members were questioning potential staff members and even, people within the staff questioning how much longer he would be around. And you wonder whether that frustration caught up with him. It reminded me a little bit of Steve Spurrier when he was 71 years old, and Spurrier will try to convince everybody at SEC Media Days that he was, spry and good to go and so on. But all the negative recruiting and everything did kind of ultimately catch up with him. So you wonder about those things when, he realized that there were just other things in his life that he wanted to deal with. Jimmy Stein with us here. Now, the first impact, you wonder about transfer portal, you wonder about kids moving around. First thing that has to happen is they got to get this job filled ASAP, and Saban has said that he is on board with helping getting the job filled. Dan Lanning was the choice of a lot of people, including me. It would have been my first choice, a close second to D'Amico Ryans. I don't know if you can get him out of the NFL. Dan Lanning has pulled himself out of this discussion and said that he will remain at Oregon. There's a theory that you don't want to be the guy that follows the guy. If you're as young as Dan Lanning at 36, you might say, you know what, call me in 4 years after you fire Nick Saban's successor. But, having said that, read the tea leaves. What are you hearing, and how long do you think this goes before we know something?
I think we're going to know something fairly soon. It won't look anything like the last coaching search. I don't know if everyone remembers exact dates, but I looked them up this morning. Completely different time in college football. You can't do this anymore, but Mike Shula was fired on November 27th, and Nick Saban was hired on January the 3rd.
Yeah.
I mean, that is never – that's not going to happen again because of the transfer portal specifically and NIL. That's not going to happen again, but it just shows how – crazy long that search was. I think this is going to be completely the opposite. If I had to just guess, as we're talking today, Thursday at lunchtime, I'm expecting it to be done no later than Saturday. Saturday, probably, about this time of day. I'll be surprised if we don't have an answer by then. In terms of who, I'm with you, Tom. I was, I like the Dan Lanning idea. I like him personally. I think he'd be a great personality fit in Tuscaloosa. He's been here before. He worked for Coach Saban. He worked for Kirby Smart. But in the end, Dan Lanning, first of all, you had a significant buyout issue that was of significance. Secondly, he's only done this for 2 years. I mean, this is a big job that's eaten up a lot of people. And Dan is really young, and again, just 2 years of experience as a head coach. So I'm not sure he topped Greg Burns' list, but I was myself intrigued by him because I think Dan Lanning is going to have a long, really successful career. But in terms of other names, I think Kalen DeBoer is interesting from Washington. I think Mike Norvell from Florida State is an interesting name. There's other names that to me aren't aren't super I'm not sure how realistic Sark would be. Steve Sarkisian at Texas, I'm not sure how realistic that is based on the fact he's got a pretty good job where he is. You already mentioned D'Amico Ryans. I mean, he's got a pretty good job where he's at. A lot of times in this profession, when you've already got a really good, high-paying job, might not be a great idea to leave it if you feel, pretty secure in it. So I'm not sure how realistic those names are, but Kalen DeBoer and Mike Norvell in particular, I think, are two interesting names. That's kind of who we're, who we're thinking right now.
DeBoer scares me a little bit because I can't get Brian Harsin out of my head. I want a guy that's been around the SEC. I want a guy that's been in these homes in the dirty South. He is not that guy. I mean, he is a South Dakota State guy. He's a guy that's been out there in the upper Midwest. I feel the same thing I would feel about Brian Harsin. I mean, I think it has to be somebody. That's why Lanning was intriguing. Yeah, I know he's only been a head coach for a couple of years, but the 4 years as a defensive coordinator under Kirby Smart at the time as a GA at Alabama, he understands the feel of the SEC. But that's off the table. I think D'Amico can work anywhere because D'Amico has that kind of personality and so on. But he's got a tremendous situation with one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL right now. So, does he want to make that move? The list doesn't seem real deep, though. You know what I mean? I heard James Franklin's name being tossed around earlier. And
that's another interesting name. There's your SEC experience, big-time football experience. He's won a lot of games. Penn State's consistently good under him. The knock is they haven't been great, but they've been good, and he would have a better recruiting situation at Alabama, and he's recruited the South, being in the SEC before. One point I'd like to make about Kalen DeBoer, a lot of people might not realize about him, and you make a lot of great points about him, but he's 104-12 in his career as a head coach. 104-12. And when people say, yeah, but he did most of that at such a low level of football. Yeah, but, heck, if you called me up on the phone right now and said, hey, there's this high school coach in Birmingham, he's 104-12, I'd be pretty impressed.
Yeah,
Not easy to win at that clip.
No, it's not. But this is a different animal, a little bit of a different animal down here. The Ryan Williams situation, do you think that was 100% after the decision became public by Nick Saban, or is there any chance that was part of what was making Nick Saban's mind up? Because I know he's frustrated with NIL. You can sense that, and you wonder whether or not Ryan Williams, who's been committed to Alabama for a long time and who has been talking about signing on February 9th, his 17th birthday, that you wonder if how big a bag was thrown at him by Auburn, and maybe that's the kind of stuff too that was frustrating Saban, is saying like, this is what recruiting has become. Whoever's got the biggest check, and but are we certain that it happened after? And is there a chance? Is Alabama still in the mix, depending on who they get as a head coach?
Yeah, I would think Alabama's still in it for Ryan Williams. I think the new coach is going to understand that that's a very quick priority. He's, as we sit here, the main, if not the primary, one of the few targets Alabama will have in the late signing period. But I don't think they're related at all, other than Ryan Williams, who has been committed to Alabama for a long time. But how deep was that commitment? He had scheduled visits. Though committed to Alabama, he had scheduled an official visit to Texas, scheduled an official visit to Auburn, was going to visit Auburn the weekend before signing day, regardless of Alabama's coaching situation. So I think when Nick Saban retired, Ryan Williams just said, well, I was committed to Nick Saban in Alabama. Saban's no longer there. He's looking around at the other schools. But no, I don't believe that would be over. I think Ryan and his family are going to give Alabama's new coach a listen and a chance, and we'll see what happens. But I guess Ryan didn't feel like he should be committed to a program that doesn't have a head coach in place.
And you would think, why would you want to, necessarily jump into that Auburn class that's already got 4 outstanding wide receivers in it? Does that make any sense? I know they're looking for the Freeze 5, I guess is what they're trying to call it, have him join that list of receivers. But, the way these kids are looking for PT as early as possible, you would think he wouldn't necessarily want to join a class that already is loaded with wide receivers.
Well, I know this based on what I've seen of Ryan Williams clips and highlights. The other 4 guys need to be more
they would be worried.
Him.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
need to be more worried about him than he is about them.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, he is an absolute stud. How much concern is there about the transfer portal and others, even some of the, this highly recruited class? I know that Julian Sagan's already on campus and so on.
Right.
I suppose that he could, put himself in the transfer portal already, but you would think that everybody, that Saban would be able to get everybody to hang on here, and let's give them a chance to see who they come up with.
Well, it's a legitimate concern. There's a special rule that allows for it, a 30-day portal. The 30-day window is open for Alabama players to enter the portal because they've lost their coach. I think it's a legitimate concern. It's a legitimate worry. It's one of the reasons I think this coaching search is going to be done very quickly and expediently is exactly that reason. But Alabama's very fortunate right now to have so many returning veterans. It's our understanding that players like Jalen Milroe, Deontay Lawson, and Malachi Moore have talked to the team, players-only meeting, and they've talked about, hey, we've got to stay together. And Alabama's got good leadership from kids like that have returned, and I think that it's good timing in that sense. This team seems to have, the 2024 team seems to have a lot of natural leaders, and they're the ones that are going to try to keep the team together and keep that portal from filling up.
Always a pleasure. Jimmy Stein has been our guest. Jimmy, this thing just fell into our lap, and then, of course, you add to it in the NFL with Bill Belichick and what's going on there, and of course, we had Pete Carroll as well, and it's really was a historic day. I mean, I think January 10th, 2024 will go down as quite a historic day in the annals of sports history with the greatest coaches in college and NFL football, both stepping aside at that particular point in time.
Yep, great friends, and I have no doubt there will be a telephone discussion between those two discussing that very thing, if it hadn't already happened.
I'm sure it probably has. All right, appreciate you, Jimmy. Great work as always.
Thanks, Tom.
Jimmy Stein, BamaOnline.com. All right, we'll take a break. We are out here at the Huntsville Boat Show where they're getting ready to open the doors coming up in about an hour. Things will be open for day one of the boat show, and you're going to want to take advantage of some of the great deals that they have here. And later on in the 1 o'clock hour, we will be joined by Ryan Jones. He'll tell us more about all of that. But we're going to go open lines when we return, open lines for the first couple of segments as well of the next hour of the show. So if you want to get in, go ahead and get in. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here to enjoy another great football season with y'all. And guess what? The salmon are running, so make sure you try our delicious lemon garlic salmon. And for you land lovers, try our sizzling char grill flat iron Callaway steak complemented with our special shrimp etouffee. And you'll definitely want to tackle our Alabama hot chicken smothered in our zesty and tangy immune boosting special Alabama hot sauce. Baumhauer's legendary fun and legendary food.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188, and you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dorton Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Really is going to be a beautiful afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 50s. We're dropping into the mid and upper 40s as we head into the overnight. Early into your Friday morning. During the overnight, showers and thunderstorms are going to begin to develop across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the strong end of the spectrum, but it doesn't right now look like we're going to be dealing with any severe weather. A mostly cloudy sky through Friday afternoon. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to continue through a good chunk of the day. I'm Chief Meteorologist Dorton Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I wanna thank you. Thank you for making us your number one choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Segment of the show brought to you by TOC as I sit here in the TOC 97.7 ESPN The Zone broadcast tent on location at the Huntsville Boat Show is where we are. Right when you come on in, just make a hard left and you'll see us right here set up in front of this beautiful sign that's behind me. It says, welcome to the Huntsville Boat Show. And, of course, we'll be here tomorrow as well to do the show. All right, if you want to jump in, you can do it right now. We got full lines, so let's go to those lines. We start with Paulie in Decay. Paulie, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good morning, Tom. Unbelievable news. I hope the suicide rate doesn't spike this weekend in Alabama because
Don't say that now.
All right. And then number two, forget about betting on Alabama to cover anything this year.
Why?
Because,
Why? Why would you say that?
Depending on the coach.
Of course, depending on the coach. They're still loaded with talent, and the numbers will be adjusted. I mean, the Alabama to win a national championship went from 6-1 to 8-1, so it really didn't move that much.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see if they cover 14 or 19 points against a decent team.
We'll see if they're laying 14 or 19 points. You know, we don't know that they'll be laying that. Yeah.
But when they play Pine Bluff or somebody like that, and three, go Dolphins. This is it. Time for the Dolphins to do something. Win in the cold.
Do you have the Peacock? Are you going to be able to watch the game? You got Peacock at your house?
No, I have a secret website that I don't want to disclose on the radio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I can watch it. I can watch it with no program.
Are you sure that the secret website will have the game if the game's on Peacock?
I've I can say 100% it's already been on Peacock. I've watched every Thursday night game at work.
That's Prime. That's Prime, not Peacock.
I watched it on Peacock, too.
Okay. There was one game on Peacock.
I'm not making it up.
I know. I'm just telling you. I hate to see you get disappointed. I mean, for $6.
They had a game on Peacock already, right? They had.
Yeah,
right?
one game. They had one game on Peacock. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
I watched it on the phone.
Okay. Are you gonna watch? You're gonna watch your Dolphins on a phone?
Well, I'll be off Saturday night. Yeah, I got.
Oh, okay.
I'll talk about the Thursday night, any Monday night games, all that on the phone. But like I said,
$6. I mean, it's $6.
I'm not talking about YouTube either, where you have to watch it around the square.
Yeah.
But I can watch the game all day with no problem.
All right. Good. All right, man.
Yep. I'll talk
Appreciate
to you tomorrow for know what.
Yeah, we'll have our trifecta tomorrow. We'll have all 6 of the playoff games in our trifecta tomorrow, no doubt about it. I appreciate the call, Paulie. It's a good job by you. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we will be all open lines. Well, I'm looking at, in the order of the longest wait, Robert, Wolverine, Dan are up. So they rolled Toomer's corners, and Grumpy says that's a sign of respect. Okay. I mean, I didn't really think of it that way. I thought it was kind of silly. You're rolling Toomer's corners because the Alabama coach is retiring? Really? That seems weird. All right. Phone lines are open next. I'm the Thom Abraham Show. It's the Thom Abraham Show. It's 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Bill Belichick era is over in New England after 24 seasons and an unparalleled run of success. ESPN's Adam Schefter and Mike Reese reporting he and the Patriots mutually agreeing to part ways, a decision made following meetings this week with owner Bob Kraft. Belichick just completed his 49th consecutive NFL season, the most consecutive coaching seasons in NFL history, and he's looking to spend number 50 with another franchise as he does want to continue coaching. The Patriots embarking on their first head coaching search since 2000. Linebackers coach Gerard Mayo is projected to be the leading candidate. Live coverage of today's press conference with Belichick and Kraft in an hour on ESPN Radio and ESPN. The NFL announced the Bears, Vikings, and Jaguars will each host a game in London in 2024, while the Panthers will be the home team for a game in Munich. Opponents and dates, as well as the rest of the NFL schedule, announced in the spring.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If your home needs updating or you have some projects that you just haven't gotten to, Eagle can help. They install shower doors, mirrors, shelving, blinds, bath hardware, and lots more. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dorton Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Really is going to be a beautiful afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 50s. We're dropping into the mid and upper 40s as we head into the overnight. Early into your Friday morning. During the overnight, showers and thunderstorms are going to begin to develop across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the strong end of the spectrum, but it doesn't right now look like we're going to be dealing with any severe weather. A mostly cloudy sky through Friday afternoon. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to continue through a good chunk of the day. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The opinions of Thom Abraham are not necessarily the opinions of the radio station or anybody associated with the radio station or ownership. These are strictly his own opinions, and sometimes they're not even his opinions.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show, on location here at the Huntsville Boat Show, and they're getting ready to open in about an hour. The Huntsville Boat Show will be open here at the VBC, and it looks absolutely beautiful here at the South Hall. You're going to want to come and check this out. Tomorrow they'll open up at noon, so they'll be crawling with people while we're doing the show here tomorrow once again. And we remind you that Saturday morning there's a free boating safety course that is coming up at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning, and that is taught by the Alabama Marine Patrol. So if you want to get a free boating safety course, if you're new to boating or thinking about boating, this is the place to be for that. And this South Hall is absolutely packed with some beautiful, beautiful boats. So you're going to want to come on down and check these out here and get some tremendous deals. And then there's also other kinds of retailers that are all around here at the South Hall. Of course, the big story today is the Coach Nick Saban's retirement that happened yesterday, and then this morning, Bill Belichick leaving. A decision, which I think that press conference is coming up sometime this afternoon. A mutual parting of the ways with the New England Patriots. Belichick looking to coach, and so you got to think about where that guy might end up. So that's out there as well. All right, let's go bang some of these phone calls now, and we're going to kick it off with Robert. Robert, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, man. So with the Alabama deal, with Lanning saying no, now odds-on favorite is with Norvell. And now you've got Norvell.
Wait a minute. Is that your opinion, or are you somebody telling you that?
Well, I mean, that's just Vegas odds. It's plus 150. I mean, I could send those to you, but that's just what it is. I mean, anyway, I was just...
The Vegas odds were Norvell. So I think the guy they're talking to is D'Amico Ryans. That's what I think.
Well, he's not even on he's not even on the Vegas odds list, man. But I mean, I could, like I said, I could send that to you.
No, I've seen the Vegas odds, but Vegas isn't hiring the coach. I'm just telling you. Just be careful with the Vegas odds.
Vegas, yeah, right. But I mean, well, then you could win a bunch of money. I mean, maybe if you want to pick a but Norvell. was the guy that, scared of the SEC, right? I mean, he has no culture, I mean, he basically made all his players not play. What a trash. And then now Alabama is considering him. What do you think about this, man?
I would not be in favor of him. By the way, the Vegas odds that I'm looking at have after Dan Lanning, who has already taken himself out of the mix. Next is Lane Kiffin at plus 350, Dabo Sweeney at plus 400, Kalen DeBoer at plus 500, Steve Sarkisian plus 750, and Mike Norvell at plus 900. I am not a Norvell fan, and I know what he did at Memphis, and I know he was able to get Florida State on the map. I am not a huge fan of Mike Norvell, though. There's just something there that bothers me, and I'm not sure 100% what it is. But I would not. I would. Let's put it this way: I'd be a lot happier with many of these other names than I would be Mike Norvell.
Tell me why. I mean, besides he was coach of the year. Coach of the year, right?
Was he Coach of the Year? Did he get voted Coach of the Year? But I'm one of them. Yeah, one of the Coaches of the Year.
Coach of the Year.
I just think coaching in the ACC, coaching in the SEC are two different animals. I feel like I'm disappointed that he wasn't able to get his team to play and battle and fight against Georgia. And hiring a guy, in hiring the guy that got beat by 60. By Georgia, I don't know that plays real well. Look, he could have had all his players. If he had all his players and they didn't go in a transfer portal, then they maybe would have gotten beat by 30. I think it was a different. I think it's just a different animal. They're just not a Norvell guy.
I think that the animal that won the Heisman lost to him 2 straight years. What about that?
Just not a Norvell guy. Yeah. I know what you're saying.
It's not a joke program like Alabama wanted to make it out before a week ago. Now, a week later, it seems pretty plausible.
Could happen. I'm just saying I'm not a Norvell guy. I mean, he wouldn't be at the top of my list. I would hire Lane Kiffin before I'd hire Mike Norvell.
Well, he ain't coming. He's got a stacked team coming back. You know this. but he's definitely.
Yeah, but Vegas has him as the next highest.
No valid head coach is coming to Alabama after Saban. I mean, we all know this, unless they're desperate or a fool. Maybe Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to offer Jimbo Fisher the job. It is tough being a guy that follows the guy. Do you know what DeMeco Ryans makes as the head coach of the Houston Texans?
No, tell me.
$4 million a year. Do you know where $4 million a year would put DeMeco Ryans in terms of the SEC coaches' salaries right now?
At the very bottom.
No, almost at the very bottom. Put him number 13. He'd only be higher paid than Chuck Lee at Vanderbilt and Zach Arnett at Mississippi State. Eli Drinkowitz makes $6 million. He's number 12, and right now, DeMeco Ryans makes $4 million a year. So
that's amazing. Well, Chris Anderson, a friend of mine, said this 3 weeks ago, and before Saban ever announced any of this, and make him the coach. Let's see what he's got. I mean, if he wants it, of course. I mean, again, it's a tough gig.
You talking about DeMeco? You talking about DeMeco? Well, yeah, there's no doubt about it. Plus, he's got, DeMeco's got himself a great situation right now in Houston. He's got himself a top quarterback, and he's got everything that he needs there to do the job. But, man, Billy Napier makes $7.27 million a year, almost twice as much as DeMeco Ryan. Lane Kiffin makes $9 million. Heupel makes $9 million. Stoops makes $9 million. Jimbo makes $9 million, and he's not even got a job in it. All these guys make $9 million. Kirby makes $10 million, and Saban made $11 million. It would be.
Could probably go back to the NFL. I mean, if it didn't work out, there's already a built-in. There's a built-in that there's just nobody's going to make this. He makes it. He's only got the positive, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, he is also at his NFL alma mater. That's the other thing. DeMeco Ryans was a Houston Texan, so it makes it even tougher to get him out of there. That's why people like, hey, Jimbo, or hey, James Franklin. James Franklin's at his dream job. James Franklin, his entire life, wanted to be the head coach of Penn State. That's his dream job. There's no reason for him to leave. He's making $9 million. He doesn't need to leave there. Kirby Smart's at his alma mater. Kirby Smart's not leaving his alma mater, He doesn't need to go to Alabama. So, that's kind of what you're dealing with D'Amico. After D'Amico, that pool starts to thin out. And then who knows? Maybe it's Mike Norvell. We'll have to wait and see.
I was going to ask you, what is your prediction for the Bama next head coach? I mean, I know listen, it's a crapshoot, but just
my prediction is D'Amico Ryans. Right now, my prediction is D'Amico Ryans. That's who I would predict. It would be D'Amico. But after that, it's going to be very interesting to see how many more guys, pass on the gig because they don't want to be the guy that follows the guy.
Right. That's right. All
right. Appreciate you. So pushing for Mike Norvell. I mean, maybe, I personally am just not feeling it, Mike Norvell. You get a feeling about a guy. Like when Brian Harsin was hired, at Auburn, it was like, no, not that guy. Maybe it'll be Jim Harbaugh. Who knows? Maybe he'll go someplace where he can win multiple national championships. Maybe he'll come to Alabama. I doubt it. Coach half the season there, be suspended for half the season. Natty Danny, who, by the way, apparently I'm the only one that will call him Natty Danny, is up because his name came up in our staff meeting today. Everybody calls him Wolverine Dan. I look at my call screen. My screeners said Wolverine Dan. I mean, they just refuse to call him Natty Danny, but I am showing him the respect that I told him I would show him. Danny, welcome to the show. How are you?
Well, what's up with the rest of the crew? Why come they can't be on board?
Because they don't apparently.
I don't know what you're talking about. Your call screener says Natty Danny.
Yeah, I see it just changed. I watched it change.
Well, there'll be a vacancy in Ann Arbor. I really think after the game, Nick came up to him and said, "Listen, you did what nobody else could do, and put it to us. And why don't you coach my team? I'm leaving." I think that's what happened.
Saban coached Michigan State. Maybe it's time for him to coach Michigan.
No, hey, listen. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm on a natural high. It's wonderful and. Bottom line is that I still have stuff to do, okay, and with the Lions, all right? So
yeah.
Now, with that said, when it comes to Nick Saban, there's a lot of coaches that are glad that he's gone. I'll say that because he's
I would say all of them. I would say all of them are glad that he's gone.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I'm being realistic here, but you know what? I'll tell you what, really, for me, the guy earned it. He's earned it. He can do whatever the hell he wants to do, Tom.
Yeah.
He earned it. And you know what? I don't blame him in a way because with all this new money coming in for the players, it's almost like pro football. You might as well start getting in the future down the road. It's only going to get worse, so you might as well just call it, instead of college football, just call it, semi-pro or whatever. Because
that's basically what it is. Yeah.
That's what's happening. Yeah, and it's sad, Tom. It's really sad because there should be a difference between the two, okay? You got prima donnas in the NFL, quite a few of them, and you have a lot more now in the NCAA programs than you did before because of all this money. And when the players sit out, I said a couple of days ago, I don't want to get hurt, blah, blah, blah. And then what's going to happen is the school's going to say, okay, we'll pony up some cash, their coffers, and if you want to play, we'll pay you X amount of dollars to play. So it's almost like a pro contract.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going in the wrong direction. And Nick Saban saw it. He said, "You know what? I got places I'm building, places in Florida. I got my car dealerships, everything's set, and I got a great fund that takes care of people. And Miss Terry's always into charity and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So the bottom line is this: I've always had an issue with Nick Saban, but you can't not see the fact that he is the greatest of all time. He really is. He's a GOAT. And there's only one other GOAT, and, of course, that's Tom Brady, of course. But the point is this, Tom, is that it is what it is. Any kind of Michigan fan who gets on the air, and I said this yesterday, if they say the reason why he quit because we beat him, he's full of crap, all right? And that Michigan fan should not be even listened to if he says that, because that's not the reason why he walked away.
Oh, God, no.
Bottom line, him and his wife, just like Ginger and I, we came down here, we spent the whole evening up. We couldn't go to sleep. We were freaking out. We were crying emotions because we were afraid to come down here. And because you leave something that you're so used to, and you had a lot of fun and memories. And then we came down here, and it was the best move we ever made. So he went through that with Miss Terry. They're human beings. They're not just coaches and coaches' wives. Right. They're both human beings. They have feelings, and they also know what they want to do, what's best for themselves and their family. And I believe he did the right thing. There's nothing else to prove. He's got plenty of money for grandkids down the road, not just this grandkids now, the second generation of grandkids. He's going to do quite well with his family and done real well. So with all that, Tom, as you can tell, I respect the man because he is the GOAT. But I'm still a big Michigan man. And all I know is that win felt really good, Tom. And for the rest of my life, I know that my team was the last team that played the GOAT.
Yeah.
And we were fortunate enough to win. So for that memory, I have the rest of the time in my life. I won't bring it up at all anymore, but just right now, that moment for me is very special for Chad and I and my little grandson. We saw that. So, but anyway, Tom, I'm rambling. Thanks again for letting me talk on the radio like I always do. You're always very gracious. And everybody at Bama Nation, don't worry. There's going to be another coach, and you got players. You're going to be in the playoffs. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. That'll be fine. Appreciate you, Dennis. Good job by you. He's got a lot to do with his life yet. He's got a lot to do with his life. And you wonder about the people that made the trip out to the Rose Bowl. Did they realize now, when you think about it, my buddy Brian Hammaker was there from North Carolina Mortgage. And he, when they think about it, they were at the last game, at Nick Saban's last game. I was at Don Shula's last game. It was a playoff game in Buffalo. And it was, 2 feet of snow on the ground and everything else. And it turned out, we didn't know it at the time, but it was a playoff game in Buffalo. The Bills whacked the Dolphins, and it turned out it was Don Shula's last game ever. And I was at his last game. I was at Marty Schottenheimer's last game as the head coach of the Browns. You don't know these things when you go to a game, and there you go. LSU Lynch is up next. Lynch, welcome to the show. How are you?
When are we going to name him Michigan Mullet Man? Okay, I have put in, I've submitted my paperwork and everything. There's no reply. There's no reply.
Well, he's got himself a natty right now. He's sitting on a natty, so we got to give him. We give him. He asked for it. I'm going to respect it.
All right. But look here, Nick Saban. I'm not that hater because look here, LSU would not be where we're at today without Nick Saban and that crew. I've never hated him. I have been to more A-Day games, under his tenure than most of my Alabama fans have been to Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
Period. And look here, I've had some great times at those. I've had great times at Tuscaloosa. I've had great times watching Nick Saban. I'm not that fan, dude. I'm not. Because I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to send you a picture, okay? One of my greatest is when y'all beat us 21-0, okay? So look here, I went out and bought a yellow T-shirt, got some purple spray paint, did a big 0 on the front and the back. I'll send it to you, okay? And wore that for that game because look here, there's a Chinese restaurant right there, used to be by the BP. We would just go there and tailgate. This was when the game was at 11 o'clock, Tom. Yeah. That was the best time to go to the A-Day game back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah,
I went to a number of them. And you can make the case without any – I think it's a pretty easy case to make that Nick Saban saved the LSU football program. I mean, it had been in the doldrums. Alabama had beaten them 25 out of 28 times. They hadn't won anything there in 40 years. And Nick Saban comes there, turns that program around. They win a natty. Les Miles wins one with Saban's guys. The program continues to go, and that's what can happen to Alabama. I think Alabama fans that think that they're going to go back to the dark days. It doesn't have to happen that way. Look at LSU post Saban; they won 2 more national championships. You won what a knucklehead Ed Orgeron and won a national championship. So. Alabama's not going to disappear into the woodwork, and if you're an LSU fan, you owe Nick Saban your program right now.
You do. I mean, look here. I'm so grateful. I am so grateful for that man because, like I said, look here. You've been to A-Day games, right? When the buses roll in, right there at the front entrance. I'm the one standing in the corner with the sign going, "Please, Saban, can you come back? Can you come back?" I mean, I got a sign right there, basically, saying something like that, Tom. I ain't scared. I'm not. Look here, I'm a fan. And what that man did at Alabama, what he did at LSU, he turned it around. And he did the same thing at Alabama. And like you said, my thing is I'm 53. You're look here. My biggest thing right now is, hey, we just got older. Wolverine Dan, we just got older, son.
Yeah, I feel older today.
This man is gone. And it's kind of sad because, look here, I used to listen to him Sunday night, Monday, and Thursdays. I've done that for years, with his talk show. But anyway, I know your time is short. That's my take on it. Thank you, Nick Saban, for coming to LSU. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Pete Carroll, who I spent a lot of time with back in the day when I was a college football coach and would go spend time with the Jets, with Pete when he was a defensive coordinator there and when he was the head coach there. Bill Belichick, who I spent time with in Cleveland when he was the head coach there, and I was in coaching, and we would go and spend some time there. And he was grumpy then, but he got to spend some time there with him there. And Saban was the defensive coordinator there at the time. And, of course, Saban, who my son got to spend a year under, and, we've interviewed a number of times and so on. These three guys all going out at the same time, I feel a little older today. It's not just because I'm sick, but I feel a little older today when these three guys, exit stage left. That is for sure. Chubby Ninja hit the text window. I lean towards agreeing with Grumpy here. I think it was goofy for Auburn fans to roll tumors, but if you feel like you may finally have a more legitimate shot to beat your rival on a regular basis, have at it. No one should celebrate the retirement of a coach they didn't dread facing every year, so this is sort of respect for Saban, the Chubby Ninja. Yeah, it would have been different if he was dead, I just thought it was kind of odd that somebody would go out there and roll Tuma's corners because your rival's coach retired. All right, Grumpy is up. Grumpy, welcome to the show. How are you?
You're classless.
Nope, all I heard was classless. Say it again.
Do you find it odd that Auburn rolls Tuma's corner or classless?
No, I wouldn't say classless. I thought it was odd. I just thought it was like, really? I don't. That's kind of weird.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I heard classless tossed around last night. It wasn't our text.
It wasn't from me. I didn't say classless. No, I didn't say classless. I thought I said I'm just like, really? It was kind of odd.
Because I thought, I think it's a show of respect. For the people that thought it was classless, my retort was, it's classless that we got our trees poisoned and now we're rolling the trees that an Alabama fan poisoned.
Yeah.
So
well, it was criminal. It was criminal that you got your trees poisoned. I mean, that is beyond classless. That was criminal.
I'll call him. Is it Natty Dan or Natty Daddy?
No, Natty Danny. Natty Danny. Natty Danny. Yeah.
Okay. I think that maybe after this year we could play some soft piano music when he calls, because everything he talks about is butterflies and rainbows, man. It's always on the positive, man.
He has gotten that way. He has gotten there. He sounds like he's going to break into tears every time he calls these days.
Yeah, I thought he was going to cry today, but yeah, I thought he was, man.
Yeah.
But hey, nothing but everybody's got mad respect for Nick Saban. He did it right. Everything he's done is right. He's not going home to his family to spend time with them, I don't think at all. I think he's going to be running the roads. He's just going to be making other people's lives better, and like he's been doing for his whole career. It'll just be in a different way. I think his main deal is he likes to help people make their lives better. And that's what he does.
I think he's gonna. I think he'll be doing some things. I think he'll be helping Alabama. I do believe that he could end up on game day, sitting next to Pat McAfee, who he's spent all that time on doing his show every Wednesday this year. But I think he is going to spend a lot of time at home with his family. I think this is a time for him to go home and spend a lot of time with Miss Terry and his family. I think that's what's going to happen.
And he did it right. He had a great career and he went out close to the top.
Yep, exactly.
That was the Auburn fan in me, man. Later.
Nah, it's pretty close to the top. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, Ryan Jones is scheduled to join us here on set. We'll see if that happens. If not, we'll continue to take your phone calls on the Nick Saban situation. Also, if you want to jump in on Bill Belichick, his career coming to an end in New England, but clearly with 15 games to win to tie, Don Shula for the all-time winningest coach in the history of the NFL. I think he's looking for a place to go coach. We'll be back with more right after this on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
Our customers want best-in-class solutions. That's why we've recently added many new vendors like Zebra barcode printers. Our next level team has added premier automation solutions. We're not here to sell you just one product, and we love helping you find the right solution to your specific needs. That's what doing the right thing is all about, and that's why our customers have come back for over 50 years.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
What's better than 2 in-zone sports bars? 3 in-zone sports bars. And we have you covered with our original location on University across from Red Lobster, in Jones Valley on Cecil Ashburn near Carl T. Jones, and our newest location in the Midtown District on McMurtry Drive opposite the Target Plaza. All locations feature the NFL Sunday Ticket, Tuesday half-price burgers, and Wednesday $1 jumbo wings all day long. You're never far from the end zone. In-zone Sports Bar.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope, and they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Really is going to be a beautiful afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 50s. We're dropping into the mid and upper 40s as we head into the overnight. Early into your Friday morning. During the overnight, showers and thunderstorms are going to begin to develop across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the strong end of the spectrum, but it doesn't right now look like we're going to be dealing with any severe weather. A mostly cloudy sky through Friday afternoon. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to continue through a good chunk of the day. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You know, this process is all about talking ball.
Listen to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond.
What did they want privacy for? To just start talking ball.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin' Ball. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Be sure and join us today from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Boat Show is where we are at. They get ready to open the doors in about a half an hour. Things will be rocking and rolling here at the Huntsville Boat Show, and all kinds of boat brands down here: Mastercraft, Supra, Moomba, Silva, more than I can mention. G3, Sea-Doo, Benningtons, Bass Cats are here. Skeeters are here. I'm going to go check out the bass boats here when I get off the air. But the Huntsville Boat Show, you give it not only seasoned boaters a chance to save thousands, but an opportunity for new boaters to get into the mix. And don't forget, again, that free boating safety course coming up on Saturday, January 13th at 9 a.m., taught by the Alabama Marine Patrol. All right, in the meantime, while we wait on Ryan Jones, he's dealing with some issues here on the floor of the South Hall here at the VBC. We'll continue to take your phone calls. Lines are open at 256-5764-977. You can jump in there. You can hit the text window as well at 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. The Philip joins us next. Philip, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, I'm on. So, are you there?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Did Nick Saban have 17 consecutive winning seasons?
Oh, God, yes. At Alabama? He had 17. I think
No.
he had.
No. I didn't mean Nick Saban. I'm sorry. I didn't want to get there yet.
Who?
But I really enjoy the rolling. I think that's fantastic.
If they're rolling
kids
too much
still
time.
roll thing. We used to do that all the time. But, no, Bill Belichick is what I meant.
Before the last 2 years, I think he had 20 or 21 consecutive winning seasons. And then the last 2 years, they've had losing years.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard 17, which I'm pretty sure, my hero had, Thom Landry.
Tom Landry, if he hadn't had, I think he ended up, what did Tom Landry end up in the Super Bowl? 2-4? Something like that.
2-3.
Or 2-3. 2-3 in the Super Bowl. I think that hurt him a little bit. But the thing about Tom Landry is, and I can't get this out of my head about Belichick, because I think that Belichick, there's no doubt, a great NFL coach, but people are automatically saying the greatest coach in the history of the NFL. Tom Landry won with Don Meredith. Tom Landry then won with Roger Staubach. Tom Landry won a lot of games with Morton, with Craig Morton. Tom Landry won with Danny White. Bill Belichick won with Tom Brady, and then Bill Belichick won with Tom Brady, and he won with Tom Brady. He took Vinny Testaverde to the playoffs in Cleveland. He did go 11-5 with Matt Castle, but they didn't make the playoffs that year. The one quarterback thing is sticking in my craw a little bit. It's bothering me a little bit.
Yeah. Yep.
But he won a lot of football games. I don't know that he's automatically greatest ever. I mean, Joe Gibbs won 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks. That is, to me, that's as impressive as winning 6 Super Bowls with 1 quarterback. Is winning 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks, none of which are Hall of Fame quarterbacks. As
And
opposed to
one of
winning,
which
winning one. Yeah.
And one of which is the ugliest human being I've ever seen in my life.
Schrader?
Mark Rippon.
Oh, Mark Rippon. But you know what? I hate to say this. Have you ever seen his daughter? Mark Rippon's daughter? Mark Rippon's daughter. Okay, let me just say this. You can Google it after. There's a special place in hell for me saying this, but I'm going to say it. Mark Rippon's daughter is a quarterback in the lingerie league.
No way.
Oh, yes, way. And she has a little smoke show. Mark Rippon's daughter. I don't know if she's adopted or what, but Mark Rippon's daughter is a lingerie league quarterback.
He must have a hot wife, and she got her looks from him because she probably still got hers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
So what's her name? I'm going to look it up.
I don't know. Just look up Mark Rippon's daughter. She'll pop up immediately, so to speak.
All right. Well, enjoy the show.
I appreciate you.
It's been a nice ride for Alabama, but it's over.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it ever. I mean, it's like when Saban left at LSU. They won 2 more national championships. I don't think it's over for Alabama, especially depending on who they get.
Who's going to replace him? Has that been named already?
No, there was a lot of talk about Dan Lanning out at Oregon. He's only 36 years old, been a head coach for 2 years, was a defensive coordinator at Georgia for 4 years, but he pulled his name out of the running. A lot of people. There's a target on DeMeco Ryans right now, who's only making $4 million as the head coach at the at Houston Texans, and that would put him 13th in terms of coaches' salaries in the SEC. And DeMeco Ryans a legend and on the capstone, and it could be DeMeco Ryans.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's like replacing Landry or Shula or Knox. And
don't want to be the guy that replaces the guy. There's no doubt about it. He had 20 straight winning seasons, Belichick. From 2001 to 2019. So 19 straight winning seasons.
Who was the best to replace the best? Jimmy Johnson?
No, because they were going back. Yeah, you could maybe Jimmy, but you have to. A guy nobody ever talks about is George Seifert. He replaced Bill Walsh and won 2 Super Bowls. Nobody ever talks about old George Seifert. Yeah, and then he took the Carolina Panthers to the Super Bowl. Lost to the Patriots.
Ain't that who we kicked their butt at home in the NFC Championship in '92? Seifert was coaching then.
Yeah, he may have been. All right, appreciate you, Philip. Good stuff.
All right, I gotta go to the sponge bath. See you later.
Good job by him. Ryan Jones just slipped by the set here at the Huntsville Boat Show. Everything's quiet right now. We're waiting for all the excitement to start here, and it'll get the doors open at 2 o'clock. He is the organizer of this whole thing, and he joins us now on set here at the TOC set here on location here at the Boat Show. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. It's amazing how quick a year goes by, and boom, you guys are back here. I know you got other boat shows you do around the country, but these things just are lock and load.
Yeah, it's the calm before the storm right now to get ready. I think everybody's ready for summer already.
Yeah. And those doors will open, and you got a beautiful day for it. I mean, it's gorgeous out there. You can almost be on the lake today.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, we were outside moving some more stuff in, and you couldn't ask for a better day.
It seems bigger this year than last year. Am I imagining that? It almost seems like there's more boats on location for people to look at.
There is, and talking to, as you know, this is our second year here, but talking to some of the guys that have been here for a long time, that it's the biggest they said they've seen it in a really, really long time. So more boats, all kinds of stuff. So we're excited to get rolling for this weekend.
So it's not just the boats either. I noticed, Leaf Filter is here, Jack Daniels is here, others are here that are, dock companies and places like that. So you get other kind of retailers. So people come out to the boat show, but they can also take advantage of deals from all these other retailers.
Yeah, it's a big, a lot of people come, that maybe they just got their boat, but they're going, hey, I need to find this accessory or whatever. I mean, maybe you bump into cheaper boat insurance. You don't know, but it's all here, so you can, make sure you're ready to go for the summer.
So which one is the boat insurance place? Because I got to talk to them. I got to do my policy.
I think they're on
where are they?
There's a Boat US, and there's somebody on the far wall over there. So
does Boat US do boat insurance? I thought they just did. I thought they just
do
did
towboats.
rescue.
No, they do all kinds of stuff.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, they're big.
All right, so Boat US does all of that. My friend Mark Zona uses them, so I'll have to check that out as well. Now, coming up on Saturday morning, you got something that's really cool. You got a free boating safety course Saturday morning. That'll be at 9 a.m. taught by the Alabama Marine Patrol. What do people have to do if they want to check that out, and where will that be actually taking place?
So right across from the entrance, there's a meeting room over there, kind of big room we'll have set up in. But, yeah, they've offered to come in, do that course, which in Alabama you've got to have your license to be on the water. So no matter what age you are, they want you getting that class done. So it's nice that you can just come in, and if you come take the class, we're going to give you a free ticket to get in the boat show for doing the work.
Oh, that's really cool. Go back to that license thing for to be on the water in Alabama. I mean, I'm 63 years old. I've been on the water my entire life. I'm supposed to have a license?
I think you need to be here at 9 a.m. on Saturday.
I've been running boats since I was 13 years old on Lake Ontario, and I didn't know that. I didn't even know about that.
That's at least what the Google told us. So, and that they said, everybody's got to have them. What you're seeing that now, it depends on your state. So in Tennessee, you've got to have it if you were born after '89. But Alabama, I think Georgia's about to do it. They're making it mandatory that everybody's got to go through that safety course.
Everybody has to go through a safety course.
Yeah,
I had no idea. I fished a number of tournaments and stuff on Alabama waters. And
what if you have your vessel license?
What's a vessel license?
What if you've got a V on your license?
Maybe that's
a
what
boat.
that means.
Maybe they'll take it.
Maybe that's a boat license.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you
I have a boat
vessel
license? Yeah, I have a vessel license on my license.
Well, that's what it is. That's what he's talking about. You got to have.
You're gonna
you
have to
have the V. Yeah. So
but it's cool of them to come do that. So especially people that have teenagers stuff getting into all this, bring them down, go through the class, and then come on into the show.
So the deal is there are tremendous deals from these manufacturers, right? Not only for boats that are on the floor here, but obviously you can go ahead and see these models and then make a deal, for one of these boats, back at the marina.
Yeah, boat shows have always been that way. It's a lot different than an auto show. I think we talked about this last year. You can come and buy it here, or wrap it up with the dealer afterwards. But we're seeing something we haven't seen in years because we went through that whole COVID boom. And you couldn't find a boat, you couldn't find an RV, you couldn't find anything with the outdoors. Well, now they've caught up. Well, what that means for you buying a boat is it's deal time. And we watch this all over the country, and there's some of the best prices that we've seen in years, and rebates and everything. So this is the weekend to do it, to buy the boat.
Now, do they have special deals on boats that are being displayed here at the show?
Oh yeah.
So you can wheel and deal. You can go over see my boys at Rambo and say, hey, I want to take that one off the floor. And when this show is over with, I want that thing delivered, and you get a great deal on those.
Yeah, they want to sell some boats, so come down and make the deal. And the great thing is you can go, if you like 2 or 3 different models, go shop around versus, the lay of the land here in Huntsville, these guys are pretty far apart from each other. And to take a day or two to drive all the way around, it's a lot of people don't have the time. Come down here. There's a couple hundred boats in here. Pick what you want, make your deal, and be ready for spring and summer.
What's happened with these pontoon boats is amazing. It used to be, a pontoon boat was just nothing but a couple of tin floats and a 35 horsepower motor on the back of it, and now these things are amazing. My son has a Bennington, and I can attest for how beautiful those Benningtons are, and so folks can come on down and check all of that out as well.
Yeah, there's I think it was the Harrises over in the middle at Irwin. They were telling me they've got a new chassis system on that pontoon. And their goal is to be able to put that 600 horsepower Merc on a pontoon boat.
That is absolutely. Now, what if somebody is interested in repowering? Are there any
just come down
engine dealers are here?
Yeah, and a lot of these guys are marinas with service centers too. And so just talk to those guys, and there's pretty much anything you need with a boat you can get down here this weekend.
All right, this is very cool, and we need to remind people again. I know now this is the second year of your Huntsville Boat Show, but this is not in any way, shape, or form affiliated to the old boat shows. If you came to a boat show down here years ago, this is not them. This is a whole new operation, whole new promotion. And it looks nothing like what the old boat show used to look like.
No RVs, no campers, all that. It's just boats. It's an all-boat weekend.
But there is a Jack Daniels tent.
There is, that is there. It'll be there till Sunday.
that is there. Our tent will be here till Sunday. We can leave ours here till Sunday. Ours will be here. We'll pack out on Monday, even though we're doing shows here today and tomorrow. Well, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. I know you're busy, but yeah, those doors will slam open here 2:00 today, then noon tomorrow, noon to 8 tomorrow, 10 in the morning till 8 on Saturday, and then Sunday from 11 until 5. $20 is a ticket that gets you in all weekend long. Day passes are $12, and then you got the military discount for seniors and first responders at $10. And this afternoon, there's a special, right? $6 for this afternoon, a senior half-price ticket. So take advantage of that, too.
Come on down.
All right, there you go.
Come on down.
Ryan Jones from The Boat Show. All right, man, appreciate you.
Thanks.
Always good to talk to that guy. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll come back. More of your phone calls and more talk about, of course, the opening at Alabama. We'll update you on whatever it is that we know. I see Brandon walking around. Maybe we'll throw a microphone in front of his face. He's hanging out over here at the Boat Show as well, so he's not on the lines right now. Back with more after this on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Work injuries happen in Alabama all the time, whether it's an accident at work, getting injured, lifting heavy objects, hurting your hands on a machine, or just performing the same movement over and over until your body breaks down. But when it happens, there's only one law firm to call in Alabama. That's Pond, Lehocky, Giordano. For personalized legal support, reach out to Pond Lehocky at 855-774-3838 or pondlehocky.com.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you're ready to lower your utility bills, Eagle can insulate your home and help you save money with fiberglass, spray foam, and cellulose insulation, and can help you decide what's best for your project. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
Valley Equipment Rental has grown by leaps and bounds over the past year and is adding more and more equipment to their already impressive fleet. Valley is a locally owned family equipment rental business serving the entire Tennessee Valley. They concentrate on the local contractors, building repeat business and specializing in long-term rentals for their local contractors. The benefit of long-term rental is that they stay on top of their assets. If something you own goes down in the field, you have to stop and fix it before you can finish the job. With Valley Equipment Rental, they will fix it on site or bring you another machine while that one's being fixed. More importantly, Valley is locally owned and operated, which means when you have an issue, you can get someone on it right away, right here in the Valley. Heck, ask for Ross Roberts, the owner, if you like. Try calling one of the big box national outlets and asking for the owner. That's if you can even get through the automation. Buy local. Buy Valley Equipment Rental. Valley Equipment Rental has 2 locations, one on the North and South Parkway. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Since 1986, Full Moon Barbecue has been cooking quality meats low and slow over a hickory wood-fired pit. From ribs and wings, brisket, turkey, catfish, and sausage to the best butts in town. If you're planning a holiday or a birthday party, Full Moon has a large banquet room. And Full Moon is ready for your next catering or tailgate. Just call us and we'll take care of everything. 256-713-0070. Full Moon Barbecue on the Parkway next to Costco. The best little pork house in Alabama.
The all-new Huntsville Boat Show returns to the Von Braun Center January 11th through the 14th, and I'll be broadcasting the Thom Abraham Show live from there at lunchtime on the 11th and 12th. The Huntsville Boat Show is an exciting time for all boat enthusiasts as it allows buyers to save thousands of dollars on the purchase of a new boat or just shop many brands for your future purchase. Plus, many other retailers will be on hand as well for all things water. So plan to be at the Huntsville Boat Show at the VBC January 11th through 14th. See you there.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
It's time to get ready for game day. That means Alabama football and tailgating. Whether you're tailgating at home or at Bryant-Denny, visit Brooks & Collier for North Alabama's largest selection of premium grills and smokers like Big Green Egg, Blaze, Delta Heat, Memphis, and Traeger. Satisfy any palate with our wall of rubs and seasonings. For all your tailgating needs, visit Brooks & Collier at 813 Meridian Street or at brooksandcollier.com. An Alabama tradition for over 75 years. Roll Tide.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dorton Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Really is going to be a beautiful afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 50s. We're dropping into the mid and upper 40s as we head into the overnight. Early into your Friday morning. During the overnight, showers and thunderstorms are going to begin to develop across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the strong end of the spectrum, but it doesn't right now look like we're going to be dealing with any severe weather. A mostly cloudy sky through Friday afternoon. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to continue through a good chunk of the day. I'm Chief Meteorologist Dorton Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Everything you need is just a click away.
I screw up sometimes, silly.
Okay, almost everything.
Come on, pal. Tell your fortune.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. 977 ESPN, The Zone.
You know, Grizz, that's one version, I guess, of Sweet Home. I don't have my Saban Sweet Home here. I'm looking at my list of stuff that I brought with me here. I don't have my Saban Sweet Home, but man, did he give us some great moments?
Yeah.
And over the years. And
I mean, we were second in recruiting last year. A&M was first. A&M bought every player.
That may be the latest one. They may be the latest, greatest one that he gave us. As some of the others.
When you're arrogant, makes you complacent, and creates a blatant disregard for doing things right.
No, there was that one. The bus.
You know what my goal of spring practice is? Get the right guys on the bus, get them in the right seats, and get the wrong guys off the bus.
Yeah, get the wrong guys off the bus.
I don't have anything else to say about it. So don't ask.
I used this one.
You know, everybody trusts their family, but nobody knows where Uncle Tommy's been either.
That was during COVID. Remember that? Nobody knows where Uncle Tommy's been. Oh, I have it. Sweet Home Alabama. No, that's a better Sweet Home. I mean, come on. I mean, I know Skinnerd is good, but Sweet Home Alabama. But I mean, Saban. Let me tell you too. Saban's language that he used when he was describing a play was unbelievable. This was Saban talking about punt return.
You know, we're going to take and bump the center, so he goes off this way. We got two guys clamping here, one wall guy. This guy's going to rush and become a wall guy. 7 is going to drop back and actually do what we call bluff their gunner, to try to get him to come inside. So one of the two of them can pin him. And you'll see how these guys down at the bottom sort of clamp their guy. 26 does a great job. 37 does a great job. We only have one guy forcing the kick. All right, so those guys are stabbing and lagging their guys, doing a really good job. So you see the bluff occur. All right, 7 bluffs the guy. All right, then he takes him over, and then 6 becomes the 5x5 guy to start the wall. All right, and then you see everybody else has leverage on their guy, and you see the wall develop with the wall guys. And then 14, Brian Branch does a really good job of hitting the crease. Everybody's smart about not holding or blocking behind. So, big play. I love punt returns. I was a punt returner when I was in college, so that's kind of my favorite play.
I absolutely, I can't use proper family-friendly words to describe to you how much I love hearing special team talk and hearing Nick Saban talk about it. And for him to say, I love punt return, I mean, this is something that, it's outstanding. It's stabbing and lagging. I mean,
So those guys are stabbing and lagging their guys.
got to stabbing and lagging. They're stabbing and lagging their guys. It was tremendous to listen to Nick Saban talk about that, and you hear the nomenclature. He also talked about, it wasn't easy every time these guys got hurt. It wasn't easy to just turn around and get another player.
Whatever happens, we just another player. And everything's going to be perfect.
He didn't say crap. I had to put the sensor duck in there. But what he said is, everybody thinks we could just crap another player out. The guy gets hurt, we just crap another one out. No, it doesn't necessarily work that way. No disrespect to the debate team.
I tell our players, if you want to talk to the other team, join the damn debate team. I mean, excuse my language, but I'm really sorry for, using the Lord's name in vain, but I just really get hot about what I see in sports that we promote in the media and in every other way that really is not a good thing. That's not what we're trying to accomplish in what we do.
Now, that was a few years ago. But that very comment, that's a window to his mind as to why, why he, maybe at this point in time is deciding to leave the game. He's just tired of the attitude type stuff that we promote, and it's really not the purity of the game. Somebody said to me, well, Deion, everybody's talking about Deion. Well, no, Deion is not. It's not, and this is not a racial thing, because you hear me, my number one choice now is D'Amico Ryans, so this has nothing to do with race. But Deion is about the flash. He's more about the sizzle than the steak. Deion is running around wearing a gold whistle during the game and glasses at night, and his number on a big chunk of jewelry that's half the size of his chest. You're not going to see that with D'Amico Ryans, and I don't think that's what would play well here. And you can say, well, Deion could do great with players and bring in players, whatever. He's coached 1 year in FBS and won 4-8. Yeah, it's 3 games better than they were, but come on, ridiculous. God, there's so much good stuff here. Music is playing. Saban watching the eclipse on TV.
So I'm gonna watch it on TV.
I'm just gonna watch it on TV. That's all. Yeah, I'm going to watch it on TV. All right, that's going to do it for us here, day number 1 at the Huntsville Boat Show. We will be back at the Boat Show tomorrow. We will have your trifecta. We'll also have Beat the Big Dog. We'll have a lot of fun. And we may even have word about a head coach at Alabama. We'll see. I'm Thom Abraham. Coming up next, the Paul Feinbaum Show. He might have something to say about the Saban situation. Right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.